Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Obviously, MSI has been very, very crazy so far, and it seems like every day for the past week we've had a different drama, a different controversy, whatever that we are talking about and covering. The most recent one of those being obviously the fact that Riot decided to replay a couple of the matches because they actually finally acknowledged the ping issues, the ping discrepancies, and the unfair competitive environment that has been being put out for them at this tournament. But now the latest is that RNG, the people on the opposite side of things, have decided to respond, and that's leading to its own kind of drama and controversy, and that's what we're going to be talking about in this video today. But first, a word from today's sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. This is daily fantasy made easy, a really awesome and easy to use website and app that you can get today in the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. You simply pick your favorite stars, choose their over-under, and watch your players win. I'm recording this video right before Red and RNG play again, so there's still two different picks that you can have on the slate right now. JoJo, whether or not you think he's going to get over or under 4.5 assists, and then Ming, whether you think he's going to get over or under 13.5 assists. I mean, when it's such one-sided games like this, they can be really, really tough to call. But hey, if you want to go make some picks of your own, definitely check out the first link in the description below, where Prize Picks is actually going to match your first deposit for new users up to $100, which is an awesome, awesome deal. So definitely go take advantage of that. Thank you so much to Prize Picks for supporting me, my channel, and my content. Hopefully you guys check them out and support them as well. With that being said, let's get right into this one. So RNG, after this whole fallout, there's really been two sides of things. There's been I guess there's been three sides of things. There's been the really weird, really crazy people, which I don't really think has been like real people for that much. Real people, like people who actually are, I guess somebody, I don't want to say like people in the community, but people who are putting faces and names to the things that they're saying. There is a lot of, on Twitter, Reddit is very anonymous. Twitter, you have like anime profile pictures, and Discord and all that stuff. And what they say, I don't put too much stock into, because I really think that, those are people that are kind of hiding their stuff for a reason, and who really cares what they're saying? I think that stuff is so easy to ignore on YouTube, on Twitter, on Reddit, all that stuff. But of the like real people, people, faces, names, people who mean something, at least, to most people, or should mean something, in 99% of the cases, are saying two things. Like, one, there is, hey, RNG is getting unfair competitive advantages. Hey, we are really catering this whole international tournament, global tournament, to one team, to one region. And again, it's not the fault of that team or region. It's not them saying, hey, Riot, do all this stuff for us right now. It's not like them taking advantage of the situation. It's Riot choosing to do these things at the expense of the other teams and regions. And, there's people asking the questions of like, hey, why are we doing all this? Hey, does this make sense? Hey, is this fair? Hey, RNG literally has a ping advantage in some of their games. What the heck is going on? This tournament is scuffed. This tournament sucks. There's no competitive integrity. And I think all that stuff makes sense. But then obviously there is the other side as well. There is kind of the Chinese fans, the RNG fans, all this stuff. And even people just on their side. You don't necessarily have to be an LPL fan to be on the side of, hey, you guys need to back off of RNG. Like, hey, it's not their fault. Hey, this tournament wouldn't be the same without China, without RNG, LPL, whatever. But I feel like a lot of people are just arguing, and they're not even necessarily responding to what the other side's saying. It's just a lot of people like throwing random kind of insults and all this different stuff. It's super weird. But again, caught in all the middle of this is obviously the teams, the players who didn't necessarily sign up for this. They're just trying to play their games. They're trying to go to their tournament. But RNG did feel the need to put out a response. And they put out a pretty lengthy response, which led a lot of people memeing it. People saying, hey, I'm not reading all that. People saying, hey, I want to put out a few words. And he's obviously joking. Bloop saying, hey, I ain't reading all that. I'm happy for you, though, or sorry that happened. Super funny, I do think. But also at the same time, I don't know if many people actually read the statement. So today I want to go over this statement and some other statements that have been made and kind of gauge the community's reaction and stuff, because there is some good and some bad things that I think RNG is doing and saying. So I just wanted to give my thoughts and opinions overall. So they do say, hello, I am RNG head coach Kenzu. I'd like to have a few words. It's not a few words, a lot of words, with fans about RNG's rematch of MSI. When I got up at noon today, I found that the team members and managers in the training room were talking about something. I learned that we will rematch the first 3 days games of Group B of this MSI. Previously, we temporarily led the group at 3-0. Again, those first three games got wiped out. They're not even on the schedule. They're gone. They never happened. Gala, got his pentakill taken away or whatever, but then obviously he got it back. They say you may know the reason, so I won't repeat it. He says you may know the reason, I won't repeat it, and then repeats it. In short, because the delay between South Korea and China was inconsistent, Riot made the rematch decision considering various factors. After learning the whole story, my first reaction was puzzled. In my decades of employment, I had never encountered such a thing, and the players and other managers were even more confused. And that's kind of a weird response to me. Like, maybe they would be like shocked, but to be confused, like, what do you mean? You guys are playing at a ping advantage. You guys had better ping than the people playing in Korea when the whole ping situation is because of you guys in the first place. Like, because of China. Riot and all the other teams in the world are trying to be accommodating to you. You guys got an unfair advantage, and they're remedying it, and you are puzzled, confused. I get saying, hey, we've never seen anything like this. Yeah, no one has seen anything like this. Something like this has never been done before. It's never happened before. But I don't know. You gained advantage from it. You should have been puzzled in the first place while you're playing on 35 ping and everyone else is playing on 70 ping with packet loss. So that part of this response is a little bit weird to me. They should have been like, hey, they're making accommodations for us and things got messed up. Hey, whatever, that sucks, but we're going to fix it. Or, hey, why was this ping not fixed in the first place? Not like, why are we replaying the match? Kind of weird, right off the rip to me, but he says, at the time, there were about 2 hours before the game. I deeply feel that everyone, just like me, seems to have been seriously affected. As the head coach of the team and the leader of the team, at that moment, I suddenly realized that I had to calm down. Immediately, I called everyone at the base and held an emergency meeting, which is hilarious. Like Among Us meme. People were talking about that in the comments as well. A little sus emergency meeting. The most common thing I said at the meeting was professional. Professional coach, professional players. We are a professional club. In any case, no matter how much injustice and difficulty there is, and that's what a lot of people are taking problem with. Like, difficulty, yes. You're in quarantine. It sounds like the situation in China is really, really miserable and terrible right now. It's hard on your physical health, hard on your mental health. You're going through a lot of struggles. We get it. Hey, the whole world has been affected by this thing over the past couple of years. You guys are maybe being more so impacted by it now, but like pretty much everybody can empathize to mostly what China and their players and people and everything are going through right now. Even if not everywhere else in the world is going through that right now, we've gone through it at some point over the past couple of years, even if it's not to this extent. We get it, kind of, maybe not, but maybe not entirely, but we get it. But to say injustice is being done to you, that's a little bit weird. And that's, where people kind of are taking issue with this statement. We must respect our own profession, respect the game, respect our opponents. I agree, respect everything. So the top priority is focus on finishing today's games, obviously. Fortunately, although the rematch thing had a more or less impact on us before the game, we will still successfully completed today's games. Here, I hope everyone can give some applause to my boys as young people in their 20s. They can still finish today's games calmly, even under the unexpected events. They deserve it. And yes, they are young people. They're handling a crazy, stressful, insane situation very well. It seems like kudos to them. Yes, that does deserve praise, 100%. He says, since April 1st, we've been living a life of staying at home in the training base in accordance with the requirements of Shanghai's epidemic prevention and control. Therefore, we have no way to visit South Korea to participate. Again, this stuff we already know. I don't know why he's saying some of this stuff. According to our actual situation, Riot allows us to participate online. Anyway, we are very grateful to Riot for giving us this opportunity to participate. However, the actual situation has extended many difficulties faced from LPL spring playoffs to the present. We must not only cooperate with the government. During this time, I feel unprecedented pressure. I don't know if you can imagine it, but people who have recently lived in Shanghai may be able to experience it. Take our game days as an example. Our training ends after 3 in the morning. After washing up, it may be 4 or 5 o'clock, not long after I fell asleep. I was called to do nucleic acid tests at 8 or 9, and part of me wonders, could you change your schedule any bit? Why are you working until 3 in the morning? Maybe start a little earlier, get done a little earlier. Maybe that's not possible. I don't know for sure, but that's kind of my first thought there. I went to bed, got up at noon to prepare for the game. We start the pre-match debugging preparation more time than normal teams. We cannot warm up in the pre-match rank because the training room needs to be vacated in advance to ensure the fairness of the game. Even in such a situation, we have not made any announcement and still actively cooperate with all parties to complete this MSI. We set up the training room by ourselves, adjusted the computer settings by ourselves, adjusted the audio by ourselves, and even the interviews were done by the staff themselves. Everything during the period is completed under the supervision of Riot, and we do our best to complete various requirements. So, they're just kind of telling us how difficult everything they're going through is and how hard their life is, and how people should empathize with them, and how, hey, since we're going through all this hard stuff, lay off of us a little bit. And yeah, I get it. I get what they're saying. Hey, things are already so hard. We don't need people piling on us and piling on us and piling on us. But at the same time, That is not a response to the critiques that people are giving out. People are saying, hey, this whole tournament is being ruined because of one team, one region. The ping situation has been absolutely miserable. Everyone has hated it. It sucks. You guys are literally playing on different ping, a different environment than us. It's compromising competitive integrity. This is a game that's supposed to be played on LAN, and the game changes from 0 ping to 35 ping to 70 ping. And you guys having hardships behind the scenes is horrible and is awful, but it doesn't change what people are saying. It doesn't change the ways that this is impacting the game and ways that this is impacting the competitive integrity and competitive environment of this sport. This is careers on the line. This is not just all about China or the LPL or RNG. This is about everyone else in the world. Like, yes, we get it. Things might be hard for you guys, but how is this impacting and affecting everyone else, every other region, every other team, every other player in the world who also has their career, their livelihood, their money for their family, and all this other stuff on the line? This tournament is being affected negatively and impacted negatively because of you guys, and that is fair to criticize. And again, it's not your fault. It's not blaming the LPL. It's not blaming RNG. It's blaming Riot for how they've handled this whole situation. This ping situation absolutely should have been figured out before the tournament started, or it should have never happened with RNG and the LPL participating. And that's not anti-China. That's not anti-LPL. It's not anti-RNG. And if you say that, that's really idiotic. It's just the fact of the things that if we can't have a smooth tournament playing remotely, then we can't have a tournament playing remotely. And yes, it would suck to not have the LPL or RNG or whatever there, but it also sucked to not have MSI in 2020. It sucked to not have the VCS there over the couple of years. The life has sucked in a lot of ways over the past 3 years. Things have been affected by the pandemic. Things have been affected by COVID. Everyone has made sacrifices or had things suck in some ways. So why is anything different right now? And why is saying that make you anti-China, anti-RNG, anti-LPL? Like, so many respected people in the industry are saying stuff like that right now, and it is so idiotic and is so frustrating and is not even a response to anything really that anyone is saying. But this guy says, that's it. We still received the penalty for the rematch, not a penalty. And even if it was not our fault, we could only accept it silently. In such a predicament, the players insisted on training and competition in order to present to the audience a great game. The sudden rematch hit all of us badly. Yes, it is possible to hit all of you badly, but it is not a penalty. I don't know. Also, I have one more point. It was the first day of the game that the delay was inconsistent and led to a replay. I fully understand it. But after 3 days of matching, people found this problem and asked us to replay. Isn't it too much? All we can do is accept and cooperate. And this I totally do agree with. And this is something I've been saying. Yes, Riot waited too long to do something about this. This has been an issue. This has been a problem for days, if not a week, if not more than a week at this point, because players were saying, even on Tournament Realm, the ping was not always great, but especially once it got onto the stage, it got even worse. Yes, Riot took way too long to do something about this and to acknowledge that there was an issue. So that I do understand RNG being upset about, and that they have, they can fully really be upset about. But hey, the other teams had to come back and replay their matches too. It's not like Red Canids wasn't affected by this. It's not like the other teams weren't affected by this. And it's not like the other teams weren't affected by this when they were literally playing at a ping disadvantage against you, and every other team was playing on dog shit ping during the games. Everyone was infected. It's not just you. It's not the world against RNG. It's not the world against the LPL. It's not the world against China. And saying that stuff is just really weird. But I mean, it's what a lot of people are saying right now, which is really crazy to me. He says, I also received a lot of private messages from fans and friends, many of them concerned, and some of them want us to quit. To be honest, we have thought about quit from the competition when we've encountered such a thing, but when we calm down and think about it, a real strong person should not retreat in spite of difficulties, but at this time we should rise up to it. Even if we played 3 different opponents in a row in a super back-to-back, that should not belong to us. In this regard, I also express my position on behalf of the team. No matter what kind of difficulties we encounter, we will insist on finishing this MSI. We will not be defeated by various factors and cooperate with various official requirements. I hope everyone can look at this thing calmly and give us the great support and shouting on the field. Looking forward to seeing you in the offline competition as soon as possible. Thank you all. So, like I said, there's some good things about that statement. There's some bad. They end up with this thing of like, hey, no matter what happens, we're going to fight through all the adversity and we're going to rise up and we're going to be professionals. And like, yes, all that's great. That's amazing. I agree with that. I think that is a very good statement. But at the same time, you're saying injustices are being done to us. We're being treated unfairly. Like, that is the opposite of rising to the occasion and ignoring everything that's going on and being a professional. So kind of playing both sides, but at least the message does end pretty well. They also put out like a Twitter video. We will play our matches to the best of our ability, even though unexpected, even through any unexpected events or unfair treatment. And actually Medic came out and had a response, which I thought was pretty interesting because he's usually kind of a middle of the road guy. He said, can I ask what is seen as unfair about the way things have played out? Not trying to start an argument, just looking for my viewpoint from anyone closer to the LPL scene than myself. I was only looking at it from a competitive point of view and thought RNG were calling out Riot rescheduling the matches. Can definitely agree that the way fans have jumped to blame RNG is unfair. So yes, the way some fans, like I said, I don't think it's many. I don't think it's a majority. Maybe it's the vocal minority, maybe, but that's really not even what I see. I think people are just taking the negative messages more so to heart than like looking at all the messages holistically, because it's really not the like prevailing comments that I see anywhere, Reddit, Twitter, YouTube, anywhere. And I'm very, very tapped into this stuff. Yes, the crazy fans coming out and saying weird stuff, yes, that is unfair. But again, I don't even know if that's necessarily what they're talking about, because again, in that message, they're definitely talking about having to replay the matches and the decision that Riot's making, all this stuff. And again, this ends up just being a whole mess, a whole controversy. And it ends up really not mattering in the end. Obviously, RNG replays their matches. They go 3-0 again. They're probably going to go 6-0 in their group. Everything's probably going to work out. It's going to be like nothing had changed. Hopefully, Riot fixes the ping for stage 2. Hopefully, it's all under control, and we can just play out the rest of MSI without any more drama or controversy. Yes, it is still going to suck that overall it's still going to be on 35 ping, and it's always going to be a what if and an asterisk of like, hey, would anything have changed, especially as we get into like the semifinals and finals, if there's any close team fights, any close plays, any close games, series, matches, whatever. Would it have changed if it's on 0 ping? But at the end of the day, it's not, so who cares? But it's taken a long time to get here. It's taken way too long. I really do think at the end of the day, Riot is the person to blame. They've handled this whole tournament, this whole situation, this whole fiasco pretty badly at almost every turn, almost every corner. But live and learn, such is life. We're going to get through this, and hopefully, the next international event or the next time a global pandemic pops up or whatever, we can all learn from this and handle it just a little bit better. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Somebody drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this whole thing. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on pretty much anything that's going on at MSI right now. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. Consider checking out Prize Picks. First link in the description below. Until then, peace.